Thank you so much for attending this webinar today. I'm Christina Lynch, and we are going to be talking about managing and showcasing agent profiles in NexCite. Let's talk agent profiles. We're going to go over the many different ways you can use the agent profiles on your site, like with an agent directory or showcasing individual advisors. We'll talk about how to create agent profiles and some tips to really help them shine. Before getting into too many details about how to display or manage them, let's take a quick minute to talk about what they are. So essentially, they're like a mini site or contact page just for your advisors. They make it simple and easy for individual advisors to display their specific information, including their specialties, certifications, testimonials, contact information. All AgentPort accounts include an agent profile. The NexCite admin of the account will also have the ability to create agent profiles within the NexCite admin area. Since the different displays available for agent profiles feed off the information entered by the advisor or admin, any changes made will be instantaneous. So it makes it super easy for your advisor to go in, quickly make an update themselves, and it will show on your site right away. One of the ways you can display your agents is using what we call an agent directory. This allows you to be able to display multiple advisors at once. When you're adding an agent directory, you'll be able to select which advisors you want to show, and you'll have an assortment of different ways that you can select them. So for example, you can say something along the lines of only show advisors that have images or only show advisors that have biographies. Now, the agent directory will include some of the information from the profile, and then you'll see that there will be a link to view the full profile. They're really handy for quickly and easily making pages like a Meet Our Team page. The simplest way to add an agent directory is to add it as a dedicated page. So within your NexCite admin area, from your sitemap, select the option to add an item. This is the same item you would normally use to start a new page. And then when you're on your next step and you're choosing what type of item you want to use, you'll want to make sure you select the agent directory option. Using this method is best if you want to show a list of advisors, but don't need to add any other content on the page. To add advisors to a page with other content, select Add Content within an unused area. So this will be when you're already looking at a page to edit, and you can either add a new row if you don't have an empty content area to that, or you can remove the content on an existing area. Once you select Add Content, select the Agent Spotlight as your option. Now, adding individual advisor profiles is super similar and will actually use some of the same things. So just like with the agent directory, you can add it as a new page. This time, though, instead of selecting agent directory, select agent profile as your item type. To add it within a page, you'll use the same agent spotlight page element as your content that we were talking about in the last slide. I have a few examples here showing the agent profile element. So you can see here on the left side one, I have one that showcases this advisor as an expert in expedition cruises. And I actually updated the button on this one to say, view our expert. On the right-hand side, I've created a page created what a page could look like if you had advisors belonging to different categories. So in this specific example, I have them grouped by office location, but you could do something really similar, for example, for types of specialties. So if you wanted to group your cruise specialists here, your East Asia specialists there, that would be super easy to do as well using that the agent profile option. All right, so now that we know a little bit about what it shows and what you can do with the agent profiles, let's talk about how to actually either create them or update them. So as I mentioned before, an advisor can update their specific profile using their AgentPort account, but the person on the account that is the admin to it and that has access to the NexCite admin will also be able to do it, and they'll be able to manage all of the agent accounts in there. So if you're going in as an admin, you'll want to select travel content on the left-hand side and then content management. Once you select content management, you'll select the Your Agents option. Now, if your advisor has not yet created an account, before you can do anything to update or add their profile, the first thing you'll need to do is select Add a New Agent at the top right. That's going to give you the basic information to create their account, like their login information. Once the account has been created, or if you are updating an existing agent account, you can select the View button. From here, you'll see all of the options for adding to an advisor's profile. To get into more details, you can select the Update Profile button, and that's going to give you the area where you can do things like add their biography, contact information, and more. Now, as an advisor going into Agentport, I can also update my specific profile here. So I don't have access to anybody else's when I'm in Agentport, but it makes it really easy for me to make changes to mine. So once you're logged into Agentport, select the username on the top right, and then you'll want to select My Profile, and that's going to give you those same options that we were looking at before. And a couple tips for creating profiles. The more information you add in, the more useful and interesting it'll be. Try to keep it personal. You want to come off as very approachable yet professional. So adding in little tidbits about your personal life can help. Make sure you keep them up to date. You want to look at your profile at least once a year to make sure that it's still relevant. You can always go in again through Agentport, or if you're the NexCite admin and through the admin area, to add additional items. After you come back from a trip, for example, there's an option where you can add in places you've been. So you might be able to actually add to that list when you go to a new trip or a new location on a trip. Now, if you're really stuck working on the biography part of it, what I like to do is to pretend that a potential client is interviewing me. So I think about what questions would they ask? What's important to somebody who's coming to me as a client looking to get some travel? You know, are they going to ask you how many years you've been in business, what your specialties are? Just keep that in mind and then put your answers together and use that as your biography. And lastly, make sure your picture is on there. I know it can be a little bit awkward sometimes to have pictures of yourself, but believe me, this is the most important thing. It's going to be the first thing they see, the first thing that jumps out to them. So just make sure you do put one on, and just like the second item, make sure it's up to date. You don't want to use an image that's 15 years old. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hop into our questions. I see we have a few here. There was a question about whether this recording will be available to view later. Absolutely. I will send it out as an email. We also have a webinar page now on our website where you can go to actually access any of our previously recorded trainings. So it'll be there as well. There was a question about showing what it actually looks like to navigate the system live. Let's see, what time is it? I think we probably have enough time. Yeah, we still have a little bit of time. Let me actually pause my screen really quick and I'll get up an account and we can actually look at it together. Okay, so here is what it looks like when I first log in. This is a demo account, so you can see that my name is Sally here. Now, as the administrator to this website, if I go to NexCite, I'll be able to update all of the profile information for my advisors by going to Travel Content, Content Management, and Your Agents. So this is just like what that screen cap looked like. I can click on View to go into any existing agents. I can also add the images in from here or change them from here. Another thing that we didn't talk about too much, but is a pretty neat feature of the advisor profiles, is advisors can also have things on their profile like any upcoming trips they wanted to talk about. It can also display testimonials too, so that's a good one to make sure that they are aware of, so they can add in any personal testimonials. And then you can click on Update Profile. And this is where you would see the additional information that displays. So if they have any individual social media pages, they can add them in here. If they have their own website, they can put in specialties. Let's see here. There's the biography section, certifications, languages spoken, where I've traveled. So there's a lot of really good information that this holds. And again, try to make sure that it is as filled out as possible. All right, and then let me show you really quick, since we do still have a little bit of time, we can look at what it looks like to add a agent directory or agent profile page. So to do that, if I'm adding it as a page, like a standalone page, and I don't want any other information on it, I can click on Add Item. And then from here, I can click on Agent Directory or Agent Profile. And you'll see when you do select one of these items, it does give you a lot of different options as far as which agent profiles you want to show, and whether you want to include everybody or just specific people. Actually, let me just show you instead of trying to explain it. Let's see if we're moving here. All right, so I can just show all of my agents. I can show all of my agents that have content. So that means that they have something entered into their biography, into their profile, either their photo or biographies. And you can actually identify which one you want to filter it by. So if you only want to show advisor profiles that have, for example, a photo, you could check this box here. Or you can actually choose specific agents, and this allows you to actually pick from your agent list and show those agents. All right, so that was adding an entirely new page. If we wanted to update an existing page, I actually already have some added, but let me go ahead and we'll take a look at these. So this is where I had actually gotten my example of the different agency offices. But let's say I wanted to add another row of agents. The first thing I needed to do was to add another row so that I could create an unused area without anything in it. And then I'm going to click on Add Content. And then from here, we'll just want to select Agent Spotlight. And that'll give me a lot of the same options. So I can select what agents I want to show or just specific agents. So you can definitely play around with that. It gives you a lot of different options for displaying those. All right, there was a question about new templates and whether there's any new ones available. Within like the last month, I believe, there was a new cruise model page added. That one's pretty cool. I've been using that. We should have a river cruises one updated shortly, so we'll have some more available. We do also have some exclusive templates that are available only to our premium customers. So if you're interested in that, you might want to reach out to us and I can give you some more information on that. There was a question about whether we provide any one-on-ones. We do. You'll want to actually contact our support team in order to schedule that. And you can see our support email address here, support@vacationport.com. All right, well, I think we got through all of the questions. If you do think of anything after the fact, again, just send us an email and we'll get back to you quickly and answer any questions that come up after this.